use New Vet Plus. Strengthens the immune system, promotes healthy skin and coat, supports healthy eyes and ears, and safe for pets of all ages. Use my code for the discount.
Welcome to NWA Corsos podcast, where we talk all things dogs.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Y'all come on in to another episode of NWA Corsos. We talk all things dogs. If you hadn't been here before, it's just basically what I said. We talk to many people that's involved in dogs, breeding, dog training, anything dogs, stores or whatever. And we just have here, come here, get people's perspectives. You ain't got to like it. You can take what you want, leave what you don't want, and that's pretty much it. We have another podcast we run through this channel, Unscripted Podcast. He's more on the exotic animal side. His name is Rain. Keeps you on the edge of your seat. You know, holy. Co-producer is Doug Coppage at the DMV. Y'all welcome. Hey, tonight we got a guy that I really respect. He's a guy that's done his homework, specialized in a lot of breeding talk, built a tremendous platform. One thing I like about him, you know who he is. Sometimes he gets off the dogs. Let's talk about some Bitcoin. Let's talk about the economy. And we always don't get people who just keep it that real and a buck. And sometimes we get off dog because we more than just dog men. You understand? You know, we people. So without further ado, Raul of QBN is in the house. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? How's it going, bro?
Man, you know how it is. Yeah. Trying to hey, whatever I can kill, I eat. You know. Yes,
Don't we all? Don't we all?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, this is your second appearance. Yeah. I don't invite Raul too much. He one of them people you just point him over there. He got too much. Just go over there and holler at him because he got too much. He dedicated to this thing. He got so much information. It's hard to find somebody putting out it on a steady base, niched out. That's going, especially within his breed. It's hard to beat that. It's hard to beat. He's one of the most tremendous dog channels. One of my favorites, but you gotta respect it. The way he does it is just
wow.
It's
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you, bro.
yes,
I appreciate it.
Well, welcome back, bro. What's new in your world?
Hey, man, not too much, bro. Just got two females in heat. You know how that is. Today I drove up to Dallas to pick up some sperm and drove back. 4-hour drive. And a lot of people tell me, well, why you drive to Dallas? Why don't you have FedEx bring it? That's precisely it. I don't know what it is about Texas. Everything works here, but FedEx has let me down one too many times, man. So I drive all the way up there to the main distribution center, pick it up, drive back. That's how we do it.
Yep. Hey, sometimes, you got to do it. I understand
That's
that.
right.
I understand that. So this is what I'm saying. This caveman, I love his dives into color codes and patterns.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't dare. That's why I say go over there to Raul. go right on over there. But tonight, guys, we just gonna kind of have Raul run through a basic rundown concentrating on health panels and things like that, because that way, we got a lot of working dogs in here. A lot of us don't breed for color. You say you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, I'm talking about the people who say they don't. That's working dog people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but I know it's definitely so that, it's something breeders think about. But let me start off with this one, Raul.
Okay.
There's a couple panels, but I know if I'm not wrong, you prefer Embark.
I do prefer Embark.
Okay.
I've been using them for years now. I do other testing for specific things. I'm not going to get into all that because this is not just an American Bully crowd.
Right.
But there are other things that you could test for specifically.
Right.
But yeah, we're going to keep it basic. I do mostly Embark. I feel like, man, I started Embark testing, was it 7 years ago? I believe I have over 70 some odd dogs that have been Embark tested out of my yard alone. And yeah, and so I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything else in between. And what I like about Embark is it's pretty self-explanatory, but with that explanation they give you and with some research, man, you can get down to some nitty-gritty stuff.
Yeah. That's what I know. So the guys who's very heavy into Embark, I know a lot of you are over here that go over to Raul's channel. If you want to deep dive into that stuff, he can break it all down. But tonight, we're just gonna kind of keep it basic and concentrate on health. A question could be, why is it important for breeders? But we probably all know. I think my wife is hollering at somebody.
Oh.
She gonna get the police called over here. Excuse me.
You're good.
But okay, where was I? So kind of discuss the shift from traditional pedigree now to the Embark.
You're talking about like traditional breeding to Embark breeding, phenotypical breeding.
Yeah. Like most times we
Genetic.
study the pedigree. Now, when we sitting down, that DNA stuff is gonna be right there with us in our decisions.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this. Now I got dogs barking over here, so I'm sorry they're coming through.
Oh, that's all right.
So, I'm gonna come at you from my angle, right? I don't know the King Corso world or other. I could talk to you about the American Bully world. The American Bully world is very convenient to not genetically test, because when you don't genetically test, you're able to shove a lot of things under the rug.
Oh, yeah.
When we talk about pedigree, I don't know about your world, but I can tell you in the American Bully world, there's a lot of times that you would send money to stud your dog, study a particular dog, and all you're getting is his brother's sperm rather than the dog who you're trying to get studied. So just there alone, there's definitely a reason why you want at least parentage genetic testing, just to have proof that you're getting it from the dog you paid for. In addition to that, with phenotypical breeding, you really don't know what you're getting, man. If there was 3 puppies in the litter with a kink tail, for example, you will never know. And that's really important. And the reason it's important is because the eyes, the heart, the kidneys, and the spine, which the tail is part of the spine, gets made in the mesoderm, right? So it's a developmental thing, right? Problem you have is if you're basing solely on getting information from the breeder, what do you think the breeder's going to do, man? Unfortunately, we're human beings. Some of us got more bills to pay than others, and some of us have less ethics than others. And so you're not going to get the full scoop as to what's going on, right? And sometimes, I don't know about King Corso world, but in my world, there are dogs that have been sold for 15, 20K, 30K. Don't you at least want to know what's under the hood?
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is this, man, and I say it all the time in my lives. You could have the most amazing dog in front of you, that doesn't mean he's a producer. You see, that's where the breeder mindset and the pet owner mindset kind of split in half. The pet owner looks at something, he or she's impressed, and that's it. That's what I want. I'm willing to pay. I want it. A breeder's mindset is, can this thing produce? Was it line bred? Was it inbred? Was it outcrossed? Right? Oh, there's an inbreeding. How many generations back? You see, you want to start gathering information. Truth of the matter is, pedigree is based on an honor system. Now, we know there's many dog breeds that have been around 100, 150 years. Maybe 150 years ago, there was some honor. We all know where that honor is. It went right out the window because what they're after is the money. It's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate for the ethical breeders, but the great majority of the people out here breeding are nothing more than clowns just trying to take your money, man. Yeah, and the only way you could call up a clown, the only way you could tell them to put up or shut up is by asking for a genetic test, whether it's Embark, whether it's a wisdom panel, whatever. Give me something, right? This is why, I don't know if I can say this, Joe, forgive me if I'm overstepping my boundaries, but
you can say whatever you want.
If you download QBN app, APP, so QBN space APP, you're going to see my dogs there. Click on any one of them. You're going to see genetic testing. Got none to hide. All of our adult dogs are genetically tested. Every single puppy that leaves my yard is genetically tested. So one of the reasons we do genetic testing is not only to show the world that we walk the walk, but also to protect myself. So let me give you an example. If I have a puppy who was just born, he's 10 weeks old, you're getting ready to take him home. I took him to my vet checked him out, he's good to go, and I have a genetic test that he's cleared. You come back 6 months later talking about, my puppy has a heart murmur. Okay, we don't know what you're doing. We don't know if you know what you're doing. You might be out there feeding grain-free kibble. For all I know, you might have caused a heart murmur. So you can't just turn around and blame it on me. Once you take the puppy, I'm giving you a genetic test. I'm showing you parent genetic test. I'm showing you a health test. From that point on, sweetheart, it's on you. I don't know what you're doing. Anything can happen, and that's true. And I'll give you a quick story here, Joe.
Yes, sir.
I sold a puppy once to good friends of mine that are truck drivers. And this pup was about 3 months old. Turns out at 3 months, the puppy came down with some sort of neurological issue. Okay. They didn't want to tell me because I guess they respected me so much. They didn't want to tell me. Right. Once I found out it was a neurological issue, and it's something that you can't genetically test for. Immediately, I told them, you want your money back or you want a first pick on this next litter? The thing is that you can use the genetic test to your favor as a breeder to, one, gain credibility, be transparent. You should be, right? Secondly, protect the owner, but also protect your business. You know what I'm saying? If there's anything could happen, these are living beings. We could sit here and test till we're blue in the face. We're not going to know 100% what's there. But if we're able to test for $100 and you're able to get a good idea what's there, then whatever you see as a breeder phenotypically, whatever you see as a breeder behaviorally, whatever you see as a breeder when you take them to the vet to get checked before you let them go home, that's only making your product and your line and your brand that much better.
It is.
This is why when people hit me up, how much you selling your pups for? Hey, we're starting at $5,000. It's no ifs and ands or buts, bro. You know what you're getting. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you're coming through me, you can go with Joe Schmo down the block. He's real popular, and his wife, she got a nice round big old booty. She takes pictures and she shows her booty off, and her booty's a lot better than the dog next to her. And boy, he's gonna charge you $7,500. And the minute you say Embark, he's like, I don't know that dog's name. He doesn't know his elbow from his ear when it comes to breeding, bro, whatsoever. So, it all comes down also how you brand yourself and how you market yourself. Everybody knows that whether you buy a puppy from me, if you're going to do business with me, you better have your T's crossed and your I's dotted, because I will put you out there if you ain't doing your stuff right. Quick story. I just paid $5,000 last December to get studded from a grand champion. This dude has the audacity to send me a box, a $25 box that he didn't know how to package correctly, and the sperm was dead.
What?
Yeah, bro. So I put you out there. I put him out there. Yeah, bro. You ain't gonna come out here playing games with me, bro. Keep the 5,000. I don't need them. I don't need them. But you know what? I'm gonna let the whole damn world know you're nickel and diamond after you got a $5,000 studding. You went from a $50 box to a $25 box and you don't even know how to package. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so, unfortunately, a lot of people that are new, what happens is it's too easy and too simple to become a predator when you're in this breeding business, because 99.9% of the people coming through the door are pet owners. They're not breeders. They don't know any better. If it shines and flashes, they want it. Yeah. Period. Yeah. If there's a big old booty, think about it for a second, man. Think about it for a second. Why would you want to buy a dog where a chick is having to show her booty because the dog is such a train wreck that the only way you're going to like or that dog is getting popularity is because she's showing off her booty? Right. Not only that, what man is going to be showing his wife's body out there in order to make money? Yeah. So just simple little street tidbits that a lot of people don't have. Right. And they come through the door. They don't ask for Embark. They don't ask for this. What usually ends up happening is they'll buy a $7,500 dog. Then when the fit hits the shan, right? Not before, because they were impulsive before. When the fit hits the shan, then they want to talk to Joe. Hey, Joe, this happened to me, this, that, and the third. And Joe's going to say, you need to call this dude over here. And then when you call me, I'm going to charge you $100. And you're going to be $100 to talk to you? Yeah. Boy, bro. Yeah. You paid $7,500 on an impulse. 15 minutes is going to cost you $100, bro. Then I'm going to let you know that you need to embark. And then once you embark, then it is at that point that you realize how deep they got you, bro. That booty you were looking at, liking, and thinking the dog was all spectacular, lights and everything. Now you realize you got caught, because now you got a dog that has, I don't know, kidney issues or whatever, and you can't breed. But here's the problem. You paid $7,500. You made 20 promises to your wife you couldn't keep. And now you're going to hide that Embark because you don't want nobody to see it. So this is precisely why I tell people you need to ask Embark on a dog, especially if it's being studied and there's a lot of money involved. Think about it. Embark is $150 test. Dude is asking you for big money on a stud, and he doesn't have an Embark. He already saw the result. He just doesn't want you to know what's there.
No, yeah.
Bottom line.
And to hit on the point you made, back in the day, we had a group called Bill DeVoe. They had a song. It was one part said, "Never trust a big butt and a smile."
That's
Never
right.
trust it.
Never. That's right. You hit it on the head, bro. You hit it on the head. It amazes me, the marketing that goes on today, bro. It amazes me every time you flip on a short and you see people talking, and you'll see somebody talking like they know everything in the world, and they got cages in the back, but they don't dare to show you the floor of the cages. Everything is above the cages. Just stupid little things you need to pick up on. You got pictures of a dog on an inclined ground. You're like, could that dog have high rear? Bro, you could bet your bottom dollar that dog has high rear, because if that dog didn't have high rear, they would show him off not having the high rear. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, man, the beauty.
While you on this, I want to say this to you. I want to see your thoughts on this. Being that I cover dogs, I kind of stay up in the big dog group. But since I've been covering dogs, and man, it's so many scammers. Not only scammers that'll get you for its breeding, It is scammers that'll get you for his programs now. We got dog trainers with programs who might only had 6 months of experience from a cell phone now. He never even trained dogs with anybody. He just went around, looked at some YouTube videos, put his program together. Now he's selling it. The same with
whose fault is that, Joe?
Well,
the buyer, bro. The buyer comes.
They wouldn't know that.
Yeah, but they don't want to know that.
Yeah.
You listen, bro. You're about to fork over a good bag and on pure impulse. That's like going to a bar and finding the first chick in the bar and getting married, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, impulse. Yeah. It takes time.
And I sit here and I talk and I talk and I talk. I talk about new vet. I talk about why you need new vet. I talk about, these things happening. I talk about this, that. But you know what? Here's the deal, bro. Bottom line is not too many people, only the serious ones, want to come in on a live stream, right? Dedicate an hour to it where you can learn something from somebody that's been doing this and is able to expose everything that's going on. No, people are too busy flipping the phone, getting that dopamine hit because you need to watch some shorts because that's just the way it works. And so, the way I do it now, at first I used to be very, hey man, it's all right, man. It happens to everybody, this, that. Now, bro, I'm really shifting gears. I really am, because you saw me before running over there and getting that big booty dog, right? But now you're coming here for me to fix your problem. Yeah, this is why my consults are no longer $100 for 15. Now they're 200, right? And just the way it's gonna be. Because if you could pay $7,500 for that while you're getting scammed, you're gonna pay $200 for the truth, bro.
Right. Hey, Raul, I tell a lot of my trainer buddy friends that come on here and share information, they still have to make a living, but sometimes they say something, people run with it and don't give them their credit. Charge them for your time. Yeah.
I do, my friend. I've been doing this since day one. You got to realize there's various reasons why people get into breeding. So let me give you a quick insight, and I'm sure you're going to understand this. In my case, I'm a nurse, certified nurse in the state of Texas, and is a compact state license. I got 22 states under my license I could go to and practice. My wife is in the medical field as well. I got into this because I love it. It's not because I'm financially unstable and it's the only thing I got. And that makes a world of difference, bro. Because if this is the only thing you got and the rent is due, you're going to lie, steal, beg, do whatever you got to do to sell that pup.
Yeah.
That's the difference. That's the difference. The intentions are complete. Don't get me wrong. This is still a business. And I would be selling my family, myself, and definitely my dog short if I was cheapening them in order to make a quick buck. No, my dogs are expensive and they're only for the select. And if you ain't serious about it, keep walking, go get raped, let a year or two go by, and then realize the value as to why it is that you want to do it right. You see what I'm saying? But too many times I brought on my life, I brought on one of the more popular breeders who's been breeding American bullies for 20 years. I don't do genetic tests because if there's something wrong with my dog, I know. Well, listen, bro. If there's something wrong with your dog, obviously you're going to know. But your dog may be a carrier of something.
That's right.
You don't know unless you test the dog.
That's right, yeah.
So this cat has the audacity, and it's kind of good that it happened, has the audacity to say there's no need for genetic testing.
That's correct.
But when he's asked, is Merle a color or pattern? Because he reads books from a foreign nation. This is the most powerful, advanced country in the world, but he reads books from a foreign nation. And that foreign nation, whatever that might be, told them that Merle is a color. And because he's got all this popularity and he's been lying to people for 20 years, Merle is a color. And that's just the way it rolls. The beauty of the internet is that, or technology nowadays, is that you get exposed, man, and everything is recorded. Not only that, whether you're a phenotypical breeder or a genetic breeder, whether you like it or not, bro, within a matter of about a year and a half, 2 years, if you're not genetically testing, you ain't gonna sell dogs, man.
That's right.
And so,
because they know it's so big now. It's pretty much pushed to the pet families. Check your dog. It's out there. I see it. I see the messaging. It ain't geared toward breeders no more. It's geared toward family. Find out what's in your dog, just like your human ancestry. So it's a must. And you should go ahead.
I'm glad it is. I'm sorry to interrupt you, man. I'm glad it is, because the American Bully, we all know, is a newer breed, and it's really nurtured in the urban American, culture. But unfortunately, bro, everybody that needs to make a buck, everyone that's got no ethics or morals or whatever, let's just go breed a bully. Let's show my old lady's booty out there. And yeah, don't listen to this idiot over here. He don't know what he's talking about. Genetic test. Yeah, okay. It's all good, bro. That's why it's recorded. You know what I'm saying? And you might have all the, what I tell people all the time is, because a breeder's popular, first of all, doesn't mean he ain't lying to you. And second of all,
thank you, sir.
It doesn't even mean that they know what the hell they're doing.
Right.
I have brought breeders on my live that have a top 5, top 3 dog in the ABKC, which is the American Bully Kennel Club, and they don't know the difference between their elbow and their ass, bro, to be honest with you. And you're like, what the hell? And you keep the line because you don't want to be disrespectful to nobody. You've been phenotypical breeding. I understand that old school, that's the way it was done. But let's not be naive here. This is 2025, right? You know how easy it is to take a picture of a dog or use the sperm of a dog that's not on the picture, on the pedigree? Come on, man. It's too easy.
Yeah. Those days about over. And then too, the breeders of old, back in the day, from what I gathered, they didn't have these tests. And so the only way they could really know what was in the dogs is by inbreeding hard, because they want to see what good pop out and they wanted to see what bad popped out. That was the only way to see. So yeah, man, I'm totally in agreement with you, boy. I bet a lot of people feeling this on the channel. You said,
oh man, I got a lot of heat in my community, and I could care less, bro. I told you I came into this because it's my passion, and either if they got ethics and morals, it's going to be to their advantage. But if they don't, it's going to be to their detriment, bro, because I put it out there and I put it out straight. That's the reason they hate me. Because if you're out there making a nickel and I expose you or your practices, then, one of the bigger breeders in my community, what they were doing is they'll put a puppy up for sale and they'll collect $2,000 deposits. Now, I've been saying forever and a day, you don't pay more than $1,000 deposit. They collected $2,000 deposits on 20 people, sold the puppy just to one. Listen, it makes sense. Think about it. What lawyer is going to go sue somebody for $2,000? He's got to charge you $5,000 just to get the case.
Yeah.
So they're selling the pup. They're making $38,000 off of that one puppy. And then all these idiots come, I need a consult. Oh, $100? Yeah, MF, $100. Shit, you lucky I'm not charging you $200 at the time. Of course, you're an idiot. Yeah. You're an idiot. I sat here and I spoke on it. You went out there and did whatever you wanted to do, and now you got burned. Now you want me to do it for free? Nah, bro. I value myself way too much. I ain't doing nothing for free.
Right. Yeah. This man know this game. He knows this game. Yeah. And and a lot of people who have been entering in, a lot of my older friends have come in, been figuring this game out, and everything you saying is hitting home tonight. You just don't know. Let me ask you this for the people. Could you kind of explain the difference in the what a genetic variant is versus a mutation when they look at stuff like this?
Oh, well, a mutation. All right. So let me rewind. The main mutation that we speak of in my breed is Merle. Merle is a mutation, right? And what it is, what it really comes down to is it's an incomplete gene. So genes, we know they come in pairs, right? You get one from mom and you get one from dad, right? If they're identical, they're going to be called homozygotic, meaning they're the same. Homo means same. And if they're different, right, they're going to be called hetero, right? Hetero means different. Heterozygotic, right? The problem you have with Merle is that, first of all, Merle is a dominant gene, right? It is. It doesn't care. It doesn't need for the other gene to be identical in order for it to express itself. All it needs is one pair of Merle to be there, and it's going to express, right? That's how a dominant gene works. But what happens with that Merle gene is it's an incomplete protein. So when they're going to it in order to get sequences needed for whatever, give you an example of the importance of melanin, which is something that Merle displaces. All right. Melanin is obviously needed for the eyes, right? Otherwise, you get albinoism, and then you're able to see it only at night. You have issues during the day, but also for hearing. But another thing people don't know is the liver needs melanin. So does the heart. So does the brain, right? So not having melanin can become a complication, right? As the other part of the question is, what is a variant?
What was a variant? Yes, sir. Genetic variant.
A genetic variant. Man, you taking me back to biology.
Yeah,
a genetic variant is, listen, let me give you an example of a genetic variant that I tried explaining on my platform, and some people got it, some people didn't. So I had this one female that she came from a half brother and a half sister breeding. Now, the one thing the half brother and the half sister had that you could just see phenotypically was they both had light blue eyes, right? So they bred and they had a litter, and I got a pup from that litter, and I bred said pup. Now, if you know anything about genetics, blue light eyes in particular, is a recessive gene. Okay. It's a weak gene, right? And brown or black is going to be a dominant gene, right? So I bred him to a female that had brown eyes. Half the litter had blue eyes. What the heck? Yeah, wow. All right. Bred him again to, I bred him, somebody studied him to a female with black eyes. Half the litter has blue eyes. All right. So let me look into this, because at first I thought it was an anomaly, but let me get into it. As I'm doing all that, his daughter grows up, right? And I breed her to a dog that's got brown eyes. She produces 2 puppies, and both puppies have blue eyes. So it turns out, right, that when you get, so when genes are identical, right, or gene sequences, let me not say individual genes because I'd be simplifying it too much. When the polygenetic genes, which could be up to thousands, right, long, when they're identical, right, when they're identical and they line up, they multiply their potential exponentially, right? So what ends up happening is that blue eye recessive gene has now become stronger than a black or brown dominant, or as strong.
Okay.
And I've proven it because her granddaughter had a litter, and half the litter is walking around blue eyes. You're like, how the hell did that happen? So that's how that came about.
Gotcha. Okay. So we get our tests back, our panels back, and there's a few things. We got something that says clear. We got a carrier. We got at risk.
Yeah.
We all know what clear means.
Can I share my screen?
Please do.
Okay. Let me bring it up here. All right. So let me know if you're seeing it.
I got you.
Okay. So that screen that you're looking at is for my boy Blueberry, right?
Wait, hold on 1 second, Raul. It's not letting me add it to the stage. Let me try to
Okay.
remove something. Bam. Oh,
There
there
you
we go. Okay.
Yeah, that's my boy Blueberry, right? So Blueberry, he just turned 1 year old July 5th.
Yes, sir.
So first thing that's going to pop up, right? Especially if you're new into this, uh, you're going to see, for example, or not example, but you're going to see mast cell tumor, right? And the minute you see that, it's a knee jerk reaction. I don't want a dog that's going to have cancer, right? So one of the things you need to, this is why I say you must research. I called Embark when this came out because for about 5 years that I was genetically testing, this thing was not showing up whatsoever. And then out of nowhere, about a year and a half ago, somewhere around there, it started popping up. Their response is, listen, this is a new marker that we're testing for, right, in our database. We don't know if it's going to afflict your breed or not. We need about 5 years to go on. And the reason they told me it takes them that long to figure it out is because my breed is a composite breed, right? It started out with pits and staffies, and then bulldogs were brought in, and then Pandora's box was really open, and they brought just about anything in here.
Right.
So what happens is sometimes for you to need for this to really afflict your dog, you need a polygenetic chain that nobody knows how long it is. But for the sake of argument, let's say it's 10 characters long, right? What happens is when a breed has that poly chain that's 10 characters long and you breed it to another breed, like say a pit bull to a staffy, what happens is it gets chopped somewhere, maybe at number 7. They take out the last 3 and they bring in 3 from staffies and they put it in there. Well, the problem that has is it needs all 10 in order to express itself. Having only 7 it's just never going to work. However, it's showing little dots or however it expresses in their system that it's there, and therefore it raises a flag. Now, as far as mast cell tumor, we don't know yet. All we know is that all American bullies are currently coming in with this. Okay. But you can have something that's more specific to say your breed. Let me give you an example of something else that this you may have in your breed as well. He has 2 copies of ALT activity. Okay. And this is a variant, actually. This is a variant. So what is important about ALT activity, and this will explain it to you, is that ALT activity, by the way, has to do with liver enzymes.
Yeah.
And what happens is he's going to have lower liver enzymes, which means that if you were to test them at base, it's going to come out low. This is important because if your veterinarian is going to give something to your dog that may, affect his liver, or they need to get liver enzymes, he needs to know this because he may see normal liver enzymes. And for a normal dog, it doesn't mean anything. But for him, normal means high, right? So it's actually hurting the liver. But aside from that fact I just stated, a dog can live with low ALT, no issues, like nothing ever happened. In fact, one of the reasons I prefer low ALT, and this is where genetic testing versus genotypical testing comes in, is that a dog that has double ALT, I have noticed they are more muscular. Their musculature is more exaggerated, right? So, I'm about to breed them when the time is right again to one of the females I have in my yard that is a low ALT carrier. I would have never known that just looking at her. So that's another advantage why you want to do genetic testing.
Right.
Here, here's a perfect example of what I said originally. I said that when you mix breeds, poly chains get chopped up. And for example, progressive retinal atrophy, CRD4, CRD1, is something that people in my community unethically have been breeding. I'm talking about they've even inbred dogs that have this. And nothing has ever happened. And the reason it hasn't happened is because that poly chain originally was chopped. If you look at this, I'll click on it. You're going to see it says, hold on, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I just want to show you guys the breeds in which, okay, sorry. I guess it was the previous screen. It shows you here identified in Beagles, Boykin Spaniels, and more. I believe Labrador is also another one that's in there. My whole point is maybe one of those breeds was crossed with the American Bully. I wouldn't doubt it at some point. And then, everything else that was mixed into it just chopped that genetic poly chain.
Right.
Yeah. The other thing I do urge people to see now, these are obviously, this is the health tab. The other thing I tell people to look at when you're breeding that's going to give you a lot of insight. Okay. I don't care what breed it is going to be your IGF-1. Okay. Your IGF-1 is nothing more than better known as your growth hormone, mammalian growth hormone. All mammals have it, right? And in Blueberry's case, for example, which is the best way I could explain why he's such an important dog to me, is Blueberry's no more than, I want to say 15.5 inches off the ground if I'm lucky. But he's carrying an N in his body size. I know it says intermediate here, and I'll explain what this all means here in a second.
Okay.
So I'll show you guys. The letter I means the letter I allele is associated with smaller body size. So the letter N is actually associated with a bigger dog. So this little guy, even though he's small when you see him, I can breed him to a bigger female. And he will produce he'll produce a dog that's so much bigger than himself that you would never believe that he is the father. He has the capacity to do it because of this letter N that he carries. Remember I said you carry one from mom and one from dad?
Right.
So he got this letter N from his mom and he got this letter I from his dad. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, all these other ones, because people always ask me, well, the other ones say larger, this, that. Bro, this one right here makes up 95% of what's going on. All these other ones are just little tidbits that are coming in. But even then, you could see that they're all larger, right?
Yeah.
You would never know it just if you were just taking a look at this little guy. You'd be like, what? I'm not going to jump into color because obviously
that's a big dog.
It's also a different breed, and different breeds have a different genetic poly chain and even different locations at times. But I will tell you something that I think anyone breeding could take advantage of, and that's the BMP3, which is the muscle length. Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, for brachiocephalic breeds, I understand that I'm not sure if it's cane Corsos or Presses. Some of them can be brachiocephalic.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Okay. So if you look here, man, in my boy's case, he's got AA. The beauty about him, he is not really brachiocephalic in where it's short and he's snorting when he's breathing or anything like that. Right. But and if you read this, it'll break it down to you and it'll tell you Whippet and Collies have one or more of the common copies of the ancestral C allele. and that's for a longer snout, right? A longer muzzle. But dogs in many short-length muscle brachiocephalic breeds, such as English, Bulldog, Pug, Pekingese, they have the A allele. In his case, he's got double A, right? So this is also important because, like I'm mentioning to you, he is not brachiocephalic. But remember what I stated earlier, that when two genes are the same and they match up, their potential will multiply exponentially. So if I was to breed this double A male to a double A female, and they both have a shorter or a medium muzzle, it's not a short muzzle, but they were to be bred together, right? Especially if I'm line breeding or even inbreeding, this double A and her double A, right? The two A's that are going to meet in the middle have a good possibility of exponentiating themselves and over exaggerating the feature. And that's where you get that really short brachiocephalic nose.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, that's good to know. Also,
in my case, for example, the American Bully, for those of you that don't know, they come in different classes. The American Bully XL has been bred to a lot of Mastiffs who have a big old long muzzle. And so, for example, I could breed him to a female. Let me see if I could show you guys her. Trying to think off the top of my head here.
I told y'all Raul be he be cooking it up.
Yeah. Well, man, listen, bro. I love this stuff, man. And I guess that's the difference between somebody that loves it and somebody that's doing it for a buck, man. I guess.
Yeah.
So let me see here. My girl. No, she. Okay, so look. Let me give you an example. My girl Ali, she would be a great candidate if I wanted to at some point to breed my boy Blueberry to her, because if you go to her muzzle length, notice she has one letter A and she has a letter C. So the letter C is for long muzzle. The letter A is for a short muzzle. So you could see it either way. Well, in this case, the first letter tells you what is the dominant gene. And so she is a long muzzle gene carrier. But I will say, I even find myself saying or calling it, she is a short muzzle gene carrier. In reality, it doesn't matter which way you say it. She's a carrier of both. But the fact that she's a carrier means that if I breed Blueberry to her, she will half the litter will get double A short muzzles, and the other half is going to be AC, just like mom. They're going to walk around as carriers. This is important to know if you're breeding.
Yeah.
Because if that's the feature you're trying to shorten or elongate, well, it's really simple if you're able to figure out what you're breeding to. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The other thing
that's very important for us because we got a 60-40 head ratio. Yeah. So that's
okay. Okay, so there you have it. If you have a dog that's got too short of a muzzle, right? You want to breed to my girl Ali, because she's got a letter C. She's a carrier, right? So if your dog, or I'm sorry, I take it back. If your dog is CC and they have a long muzzle, and say you only want to shorten it up a little bit, this is a dog you want to go to because she's an A carrier, which is the short muzzle. So she is going to give half the litter, the short muzzle A carrier, and she might shorten up the muzzles just a slightly bit. If you then find you need to go shorter than that, then you want to go to a boy like Blueberry that's got two letter A's on there to shorten it up a little bit more or even broaden it.
Right.
The other thing I'm going to show you about her. Remember Blueberry when I said his body size, he was NI?
NI, yeah.
Well, she's NN. She's double N. She's a big girl. She walks around right now at 107 pounds. For my breed, I consider that to be big for a female. Yeah, she's pretty clean, and she's double N. So if I was to breed Blueberry to her, I'm going to increase the short muzzle. She's going to, I take it back. Blueberry's going to shorten the muzzle on what she doesn't have, right? Because she's got a little bit more of a longer muzzle. But she's going to give size to that litter. Half of the litter is going to be double N like her. The other half is going to be NI like Blueberry. Mm-hmm. So Blueberry to this girl, Ali, if I'm trying to shorten the muzzles and I'm trying to get bigger dogs, which I am, this is how this breeding makes a lot of sense, because I'm not just matching it up looking at them. I know exactly genetically what's under the hood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, people get their health test for the newbies, and they see their carriers. What combinations do you do, and what combinations do you absolutely not do when it comes to health?
Okay, I don't know everything that goes on, but I'll talk on large breed dogs. Okay. Yeah. I know that a lot of large breed dogs suffer from either hip or elbow dysplasia. Yeah. I know that they suffer from bloat. They suffer from eye conditions, especially if they're coming from any kind of mastiff, entropion, ectropion, heart conditions like dilated cardiomyopathy. Yeah. Any heart condition and any neurological condition. There's one that's in the American Bully world that's quite common, which is ataxia. You want to stay away from anything neurological. I don't care if they are carriers. However, if you have a puppy and they are already a carrier, say, of a particular neurological condition, mm-hmm. and you feel that they, check all the boxes except for that one thing, I would say do not breed him or her unless you're able to see the other dog's Embark or genetic test for that same code, right? If that dog is clear, I'm talking about completely clear. I'm not talking about AC. I'm talking about AA. There's no C in there, for example. Then you could breed to that dog knowing that you're going to produce half of the litter that are going to be carriers, and you're going to have to educate those people getting those pups. But the beauty of it is that other half that you're going in, those are the odds. The other half is should be clear.
Right.
And you would have cleared that disease process, right? Unfortunately, we're in a world that likes to knee jerk and say, oh, you don't breed under those circumstances. You can. Just be ethical and make sure you're genetically testing. Now, if you have a dog that's a carrier for something neurological, for example, and the other dog is too, under no circumstance do that. Because if you have a dog that's AC and you're breeding to another dog that's AC, you're running going into the breeding 25% of the litter, that's what the odds say, is going to have that condition. Why would you want to do that? Not only will it set your program back, you're going to be making either, puppies that have convulsions, that are blind, deaf, whatever. So those are some of the things I would say completely stay away from. Dilated cardiomyopathy a lot of times is something that's brought on by what you're feeding dogs later on down. Hip dysplasia, believe it or not, the veterinary community is kind of split on it. And that's another community that I just look at and I shake my head, because here's the thing, man. Having worked as a nurse, having graduated as a nurse, I learned that there are certain tendencies that are taught to you. Yeah. Okay. as you're learning to be a nurse that has nothing to do with you being objective or being a nurse, and has everything to do with either covering pharmaceutical industry or the doctor's industry or whatever. You really don't know that or start identifying that until you start identifying, one, who made the book, who funded the book to get published. Now, when you do the research and you find out it was a big pharma company, then you realize, okay, the big pharma helped this dude publish this book. What makes you think big pharma didn't say, we're going to help you publish it, but over here, I need you to say this and that? So let me give you a case in point. Hip dysplasia. 30% of the vets I've come across say that hip dysplasia is completely environmental. What I found is the vets that are usually saying it's completely environmental are the farm vets out in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
Why is that? Well, what I tell people all the time is, if you're going to get into breeding, if you own a dog, if you're going to be around animals, I suggest you get a vet in the middle of the country, because their business model is not to milk every dog and cat that comes through the door. They're making money off of cows and horses and livestock that they're going to be making so much money off of that they're going to tell you in your face really what's going on with your dog. They really don't care about squeezing a dime from your dog. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, they want to get you out of there. Yeah, I got a farm vet. Yeah.
I have horses to tend to, man. This is what's going on quickly. Let's get it going. So what I found is a lot of these city vets, for whatever reason, they're very close-minded, and it's always adopt, don't shop. And, it's almost like it's repetitive and it comes from the book type of deal. They're against breeders. They fit a business model where, when you walk through the door, before we treat your dog, this is a flea and tick free environment place. And really what they're saying is, we're going to put this on your dog and you're going to be charged for it. And, just visiting and seeing your dog, we're going to charge you $80 before we even find out what's there.
It's political, a lot of it.
Yeah. And so you're going to tell me that this dude that has just made you go through these steps, that have put money in his bank account before he even saw your dog, you really think you're going to get an objective opinion as far as hip dysplasia from him, or you're going to get a mutually convenient response? Because at the end of the day, that dude right there, he's got to pee and he's got to clean his butt after he goes to the bathroom. He goes on vacation. He's got to answer to his wife. He's got kids. He's got bills to pay, just like everybody else.
Everybody else, yes, sir.
And if he can scam you out of $100 for a vet visit and wag the finger at you and tell you that getting a dog from a breeder is horrible, that's what he or she is going to do.
Right.
And most people, when they hear me speak that way, they're in awe and surprise. And, they're like, look at this nut or whatever. But
this audience won't be, because we done talked about those fake statistics, especially when it comes to shelters,
right.
and what's actually in there. You know what I mean? So, it ain't the dog breeders that's the issue. It's a lot of I'm hearing is it true that they shipping over dogs and putting them in shelters?
Yes, absolutely. Think about it, man. It's a business model. In fact, it's a bigger business model than any breeder out here. If you don't believe me, I'm gonna do what I do on my show, Joe. I feel like, I want to show you guys something, right? So ASPCA CEO salary, right? So this is a dude that cares about dogs and animals, and he wants to make sure that you adopt and you don't shop, right? This dude over here is making a pretty penny, right? I don't know if you can see my screen, Joe. If you could put it up on there. Yeah. That's 1.2 million per year.
Damn.
1.2. All right. There's a lot of us watching this that would settle for the 0.2 alone.
Yes,
right?
Sir.
Yeah. But if you notice his base salary is $750K. But then he gets bonuses. So let's stop right there for a second. Bonus? What do you mean bonus? How do you get a bonus? You're supposed to be saving dogs and adopting them. How do you get a bonus? I would love for him to explain that to us, right? And long story short, they get tax write-offs, right? They also get food donations and whatnot. My question, Joe, is, and it's what's going on most of the time, is this dude that is making 1.2 million, do you trust him saying adopt, don't shop? I mean, I don't like getting into people's money or whatever, but you just saw there he was making $750K salary, but he also makes bonuses, which means there's an incentive for him to push dog adoption, right?
Right.
So what happens when you run out of dogs, Joe? You get cheaper dogs from a cheaper country, and you bring them right over here because you need to make that bonus.
Yeah, and putting all kind of stuff in people's homes. You know what I mean?
Well, I've always said this, Joe, and I'll tell you, I rescued 4 dogs. I had to get rid of 2 of them. I'm not going to get into that whole story right now.
Okay.
I've always said that if you can, if you're not into something in particular and you just want to have a dog, have a pet, don't call a breeder for a pet, bro.
Right.
Go save a dog.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Right. Now, can you be walking into a loaded gun? That is a possibility. I'll tell you this, the same way I said that, I'll say this. If I have a 2-year-old at home, a 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old,
it's harder to get that dog.
as much as I want to rescue a dog, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know what that dog has been through.
That's right.
That's where some of the advantages come in when you're getting a dog from a breeder that's constantly posting on social media, showing you the puppies, showing you how they're being exposed to the world. We're taking them today to Home Depot. Look, he or she's experiencing this. They're experiencing height. We're doing the psychological test. I'm dropping a pan behind them. Watch how they react. All that. It makes a world of difference.
Great points.
Unfortunately, dogs, they're beings like us in that they are recording. So along with their genetic makeup to how their personality is going to be, the world or the environment around them also shapes them. So if they're scared of something and that something bit them or hit them or stuck the finger in their eye where they couldn't see anymore, they're going to be hyper scared of it because now, first of all, they were scared to begin with, but now they have experienced something that has tortured them. And unfortunately, there's some sick people out there, bro.
Yeah, it is. It is. Okay. Well, let me move on. Like I said at the top of the show, guys, I don't when somebody is good at what they do, I don't try to refer you to me or refer, or just pussyfoot you alone, go to him. So when I'm saying that, if you guys are interested into deep talking about breeding in all aspects and things you're hearing him cook up on now, go to QBN Kennel and listen to this man. Sometimes I come in and I just listen for a short period, and I know you got a back end over there that you probably really get loose on. But if you don't mind, Raul, I want to take our last few minutes and just do some questions from the audience.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I promise these dudes are cool. They're not crazy.
Oh, it's all good. I'm used to
Yeah. This is my boy Kyan Buchanan. Do you feel Brazilian bulls should be registered as American bullies? Pros and cons in your opinion?
Wow. Excellent question, man. Listen, some already were. I brought Aria from Samba Kennels on my platform. She's the one that brought a lot of Brazilian bulls over. I think, and I brought in the ABKC president, Dave Wilson. He said that they're going to be separate for now, but then eventually he's looking to merge, right, and go forward. For me, I didn't have a problem with either, but now that they're separate, I really think it's a positive for the American Bully world, especially the American Bully XL, right? Because American Bully XL breeders, real big breeders, they were just sitting on their success and not wanting to improve the breed whatsoever. Dave Wilson or the ABKC has came out with a premium pedigree, which means you need parental DNA testing. You need elbow and heart, I believe. I'm not sure if it was eyes and heart or elbows and heart. Please don't quote me. I don't remember off the top of my head. I know heart is one of them. Aria has been doing Brazilian bulls here in America now, I want to say for about 4 years, give or take. And one of her main boys, Sheik, is already premium pedigree certified, right? So I could not be any happier that the Brazilian bulls are raising the bar so high and drowning all these weak-ass breeders and forcing us American Bully XL breeders to step up our game.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great thing. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Davidson K9 Canada. Do you believe in fasting dogs withholding meals?
Yes. Once a week, we withhold one meal.
Right.
Yes, okay. I do. I feel that fasting helps dogs clear the system. I mean, in human trials, it shows that fasting, even macrophages eat away at cancer cells. Just it completely cleans your body out. So yeah, I do believe in it.
And Raul, something you do is, man, you do your research. You test a lot. I noticed.
Yes.
I've seen you test kibbles.
Yes.
You've been on a raw diet.
Yes.
Give me your synopsis of raw kibble. I know people can only afford to feed whatever they can, but
right.
If it was you, what would you suggest in some instances? I know what
bro. Not some instances. In all instances, I suggest raw. I'm gonna tell you right now. Here in my neck of the woods in Texas, I get a 4-pound bag of chicken quarters for $4.50 right now in my Walmart.
Oh, damn.
One of my last podcasts, I had a guy say that same bag in my neck of the woods is $10. And I said, yeah, that's true. But that bag of Victor dog food you're feeding your dog is probably $90. And he agreed.
Yeah, so you ain't lying.
Yeah, so it varies. It varies. But listen, man, there's nothing like feeding raw. The enzymes are already the enzymes that you're going to get alone on raw, alive enzymes that you'll never get in kibble. Also, for those of you that have many dogs, when you feed kibble is dry. So when it enters the dog's body, it is sucking up fluids from the dog. This is why a lot of times you'll feed a scoop of kibble and 3 scoops come out the other end, right? With raw, it doesn't work that way. It works the exact opposite. Raw is 70% water. You will be scooping very little amounts, and your dog, is easier for his or her digestion as that water is already there to help digest. That you have to, the one drawback, if you want to call it, is you have to deworm at least once a month. But once you get in the habit and routine of doing it, it's no big deal. A lot of people have brought up salmonella contamination. I've been feeding raw now for 8 years. Never had a salmonella anything. Victor dog food was recalled a year or 2 ago. Yeah. Guess what? It was salmonella on kibble. Humans and dogs got it. Yeah. So, you could either trust yourself in your processing, or you could trust the good people at whatever kibble company you prefer to do it for you. And, see what happens, because you're really playing Russian roulette.
That's true. I remember a few years back, I knew some other Corso breeders. I would talk to them. And it was a certain, I ain't gonna call a kibble name right now, but our dogs wasn't going in the heat, right? And then once we switched, it was like switch over. The heat came back, man.
That happened to me. That happened to me. I had a female for 2 years. She wouldn't take. The minute I put her on raw, I said, "Man, I'm changing everything." She got pregnant back to back, 11 and 13 pups. So
touch on that. What does it look like? You got a female pregnant. What kind of supplements? I know you the new vet king. Is that pretty much all you giving? What the diet looks like for her?
No, I change. Okay, so I do give new vet and new joint DS before, during, and after. That's my go-to supplement. Why? It's 100% natural. 100% natural. It's never been recalled. It's been around for over 20 years, man.
Yeah.
It's got everything your dog needs. It's going to balance your dog out. The only thing I do add to my females right before they're giving birth and even after is I do add milk products. It could be cheese, it could be cottage cheese, it could be milk. That's because they're lactating. So when they take that in, their body breaks it down, and it's real easy to convert it to milk. So I do that. You're gonna call me crazy, and I know, us human beings, sometimes we could be ironic and controversial, but I don't like feeding raw to my pregnant females. Now, there's nothing wrong with it if you do it. I did it one time and everything went smooth. Okay. But the reason I don't like to feed raw when my females are pregnant is because the chicken that I'm buying at Walmart is made at human food grade level, which means they're expecting for us to cook it, right? Because it can have particular germs or whatever there, right? But when you're feeding it raw to the dog, they are going to be getting a load of possibly viruses, bacteria, whatever. Okay. Yeah. And what I don't want to have happen is my female's pregnant, and all of a sudden I'm dropping a load of whatever while she's pregnant. What a dog's response typically is when they're pregnant and there's an invading force of bacteria or whatever, they'll start to consume puppies. So that's the only time I will not feed raw, and that's just my choice. Gotcha. There's nothing wrong with feeding raw while they're throughout their pregnancy. Whoever believes in that and wants to do it, I just don't. That's just my choice.
Okay. So there was, you talking about throughout the pregnancy. What about after the puppies? Would you do it?
Once I take the puppies off. So I take puppies off on day 24. Okay. I don't go past that day. I feel it's too hard on the female's body. If you did, there's really no need at that point. At that point, they got teeth they can chew. They're getting introduced straight to raw, and they're getting new vet right off the bat. So they were getting new vet in vitro, and the day they're all and through the milk, and the day they come off of mom, they're on new vet. Once I get mom away from the puppies, she is going back to my kennel area. So I have a process, right? So she goes back to the kennel area away from the puppies. I want her away from the puppies because while the puppies are there crying or whatever, her hormones are still in pregnancy and milk producing mode. Yeah. And I don't want to drain her. So we go ahead and we put her there. And the pups for 3 or 4 days are going to be eating mush here in the house. And then after about 3 or 4 days, we're taking them to Mama Aruba. And that's my old matriarch female that has been here since day one. And they're going to be with her, and she loves taking care of puppies, and they're going to hang out with her and learn through her, right? But they're going to quickly realize when they go after her breast that there's no milk. And Mama Aruba doesn't like her titties getting bit by puppies. They got teeth, right? Yeah. So the education process goes down that route. Now, pregnant mama, once I take her down to the kennel area, she's going to be eating what my dogs back there eat. Everybody's eating raw. That's how we go right back to it.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you prefer chicken over beef?
No. Yes, I take it back. I prefer chicken quarters. That's my go-to. Why? It's economical. Plus, the package has everything your dog needs, minus essential vitamins. Okay, it's got bone. If you go to the barf diet, there's a certain percentage that's made up with bones. Chicken quarters, you don't even have to worry about percentages. It's already there.
Yeah.
It's got muscle, obviously. It's got fat. It has cartilage. It's got bone marrow. I mean, everything that your dog needs is there. All you need to add to that is a particular supplement. Now, I don't do beef liver or chicken liver. Why is that? Do you know the amount of steroids and hormones they're pumping into cows and chickens? Chickens are 21 days old. They look like they're 6 months old, right? Because they're trying to just produce. Well, you don't want to feed that to your dog, man, because that's what will throw your dog into irregular heat cycles, tumors, weird developmental factors with puppies, so on and so forth. So my go-to, my substitution for liver, new vet, new joint DS. That's what I do.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna take a couple more, and then I'm gonna let our dear brother go. Some of these questions I might. Let me see. Did he go over the? Yeah, man. Yeah, just go rewatch the show.
Yeah.
Or go to QBN. Yeah. What's up, new dog man? New dog man in the house. What's his raw diet for the? Okay, yeah. Go check him out on his channel. I'll do this one. What's your thoughts on feeding lamb or turkey?
Great. Just make sure no bones.
No bones.
No bones. Okay. Especially them turkey legs. You know how they got them? They're not even bones. They're like some
splinters. Yeah,
tendons. Yeah, it's yeah. You don't want
fan splinter bones, whatever.
Yeah, it's just some weird tendons that are just your dog can sit there and chew forever and not. Yeah, no, I stay away from that.
Yeah, stay away from that. Get it to me so I can smoke it and throw in some beans.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, let me see, Anthro. How about natural fed livers, no steroid antibiotics?
Absolutely. If you could get it and it's cost effective for you, then yeah, I would do it. Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
Right. Okay. Damn. Boy, y'all starting asking. Okay, hey, this is the last one, guys. I'm gonna let them go. Do you believe breeding a female twice a year is hard on a female? And what age would you consider healthy, appropriate to breed first-time females?
Okay, the answer to that is complicated. So I breed my females on their third heat. That's when I breed them. Why is it? Because I have bred females on their second heat, and I've had situations where they either didn't produce milk or didn't know what to do, which is more letting me know that they're too immature, either biologically or mentally, to handle the situation. So to sidestep the whole thing, we go on third heat. With that being said, remember I said I take puppies off of females on day 24?
Yep.
There's a reason for that. When those puppies are sucking milk off of mom's entire body goes into milk production. Why is it so important to give new vet, new joint DS when mom is pregnant? It is important because whatever she doesn't have, if she lacks glucosamine that she's going to be adding to the milk, and it's not there on her plate, she's going to pull it from her body to be able to push it out. Okay. So this is why it's important that you have a supplement on board. She's getting enough calories, the appropriate diet. And in addition, you don't prolong it more than you need. If you do those things, you shouldn't have an issue breeding her back to back. In fact, the whole breed her back to back and then let her rest thing and then come back and all that, that's, in my opinion, straight BS. I don't look at what the public thinks. I look at my female.
Yeah.
Did you recover? Okay. You could have a female that had 3 puppies. Do you really think that's going to cost, tax her body let's say a female that had 10 puppies and you left the puppies on her till they were 8 weeks old. Yeah, she's gonna be walking around with a limp by the time you take the puppies off. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you just keep it to day 24, puppies got teeth, they can chew at that point. Take them off and get her away, as far away from the pups as possible. Get her back on the raw diet. Let her recuperate. Let her run around, have fun. Within 10 days, them titties are going to shrink up, right? Which now is a clear indication that her brain is no longer working in pregnancy mode. She is back to recovery mode. Yeah, I don't see any issues with that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, excellent point, man, because you got to look at them females and see how they bounce back. I got one, man. She just a mother.
Some do.
She just do it. Yeah, some of them just like produce milk. I think the first time we kind of showed her how to open some sacks and things like that, but she's like one of the best mothers you can. Golly, it's crazy.
Man, those are God's gift to breeders, man.
Yeah.
When you got the ones that got the deer in the headlight look, or after 3 days they don't want to clean up anymore. Yeah, man, those are gonna make it work, man.
Ooh, yeah, boy, for real. All right, well, Raul, I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
It's been a long time. One thing I gotta say, man, Raul has a huge platform, and before I even did a show with him, he invited me on his platform. Me, a little guy, you know what I mean? He didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Y'all go check Raul out. QBN is
there. You go, man. Number up, man. Appreciate you having me on. And hey, like we did last time, bro. Let me know when you're ready. We'll bring you on over there and we'll talk some dogs there too, man.
Okay, bet it up. I appreciate it.
You got it, brother. You have a good one.
You too.